G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt. We've got the Rosehill quaddy legs coming up to preview with Mark Shean, Mark Rhoden. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself. We've got Rosehill rail 4 metres. It's not quite as exciting without a $1 million race on the card. Or is it?
Well, it'll be exciting if we find a winner or two. It's pay with the same moolah. Well, look, last week we had a very misleading track rating. We've got clear weather today, so that track should be on the improve and shouldn't be too bad on Saturday.
Okay, here's hoping. Mark Rhoden, any thoughts here in terms of any track play?
Last time we had a rail on a dry track in this kind of position, it was reasonably fair. I hesitate to suggest that that's going to be the case 2 meetings in a row, but let's hope that it is. Just on Mark's point about last week's track, on the times it was certainly better than the 10 they originally put up. But I wonder if there were two tracks there, because I'd say the inside 2 lanes were certainly better than the 10, but maybe 3-4 off might have been in the 10 range.
Yeah, and even out of the chute, they seem to be running
very fast,
pretty quick times, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, just makes the summer review all the more fun, I'm sure. Look, let's start with race 7. It's a benchmark 78 over 2,000 metres. You've got Born a King as favourite at $4.80. Combella Filet, $6. Welsh Legend, $6.50. Hueto is $7. Jazzland is $9.50, and Jesse James is $10. The Guru's $11. It's way too early in the morning to try and pronounce any of those. Mark Shean, your thoughts?
Look, I didn't mind Born to be King here, or Born a King. I know he has drawn the outside alley and will probably have to go right back. Look, he did rail up the other day, but he was one of the few horses to make ground from back in the field to win. Looked a bit big first up, looked a bit better the other day, so I think he's getting up to a more suitable distance now as well. All his form in the UK was based around that mile and a quarter, so I thought he'd be hard to beat, and I think Welsh Legend has come back in good order. I'm just a bit worried about a second up at 2,000, but I thought a first up run was good, and she's trialled well since, so I would have preferred if she'd had one more run, but I think it's Chris Waller for me, 4 from 3 in race 7. Hawaita did a pretty good job at Newcastle. It was quite a bunch finish, though. Look, the extra distance will certainly suit him. Looking at his replays in France here, he didn't have much luck in a couple of races and over more ground. But, I've thought 4 from 3.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, I'll get your thoughts, and also a J-Mac Chris Waller combo update if you've got the data in front of you.
I don't. That's a bit without notice, but I'm sure it's pretty good. If you're backing them all in the last month or the last 30 days or so, you would have backed Very Elegant in a cup at 20, so you can't be going too badly.
Okay.
I struggled with this race a bit. I found little knocks on most of them. Look, I like Born a King's win last time. It was a bit put on for him tempo-wise, I would say, but and I was worried about the map, but I think just on that raw figure, he's top pick from last start. Welsh Legend, just second up. Slightly awkward draw. I like the dry track. I like McDonald. I like Rosehill. They're all ticks. Just one more run maybe, and drawn a bit better to get really confident about her. Beyond that, I mean, the next one I was left with was Combella Fee out of midweek grade, and you've always got to be a little bit wary when horses have had that rails trial at Canterbury, and then it can be flattering, and that certainly was the case for her last start. Look, if I had to put one on top, it'd probably be Born a King as well, but against that I can see him being actually last from that barrier. We know Chris Waller likes him ridden that way from wide gates, so just struggled with it a bit, to be honest.
Okay. Race 8 is 1,500 metre benchmark 72, and we have joint favourites with Too Much Caviar and Francesco Guardi at $4.20 each. Haya, Falls and Deficit are $5.50 each. And then Le Vizar is $7. I'm really battling this morning with these. Mark Shean, take over.
Yeah, look, there doesn't look to be a lot of pace here. Too Much Caviar should roll across from the outside, and with Highballer, they should probably dominate in front, even though he got a similar scenario at Rosehill last time out where he went slow in front and still wasn't able to hold them off and finish third, with Francesco Guardia held up behind him there and still finishing in front of him. I think this is probably one of the trickiest races of the day for me. Look, I think Francesco Guardia's got a chance. He's got a soft draw, should get a good run again. I didn't think Casino Kid was entirely hopeless at the price either, but just the lack of speed is a question mark with him. I know he's coming out of a lower grade race, but he's got very good form around 15 and 1600 metres, and I thought he was worth a spec around those odds. And Way Ha Ha Falls might have just been ridden a little bit urgently there the other day, just got on his bike a fair way from home to try and beat the bias, but that might have played against him at the finish. Tricky race from me. I'm going to have a spec on 5. I think 1's got a good chance, and number 8's the other pick in the race for me, but tricky race.
Mark Rhoden, what are you thinking?
I think it's a race that wouldn't be out of place on a Thursday at Gosford, to be honest. Or maybe a Wednesday. That's probably a bit too harsh. Look, when I first saw this race, I was like Mark. I was on Francesco Guardi last time, and I thought, well, I'll be with McDonald on. I'll be chasing my money here. But just with a few scratchings now, I think the map really does set up well for Too Much Caviar. Again, a bit like race 6, it's not a race I'm going to be falling over to find a bet in. But I think I've got Too Much Caviar on top. I thought they actually, just looking at the early sectionals and the sort of the time to the 400, I think they went too. It went too quick. At Rosehill last time, Too Much Caviar. And I think if it does get its own lead in a softer pace, it might kick and hold them out. But look, you're only getting $4.20 to find out. It's not exactly the greatest value bet of all time, in my opinion. I thought Francesco Guardi was the obvious danger. I've got a couple of good figures on Casino Kid too. I didn't think the tempo would suit it, but I'm not entirely surprised to hear Mark give it a chance. I thought Deficit was quite good at Hawkesbury last time, but probably got a much stronger speed there than it's going to get tomorrow. And again, you're only getting around the $5 mark for it. And then I was out to the likes of nothing really, maybe Waiha Falls. So look, if forced, Too Much Caviar on map and map only, but similar to race 6, I'm not enthused.
Race 9 on the card is benchmark 88 over 1,400 metres, and Catalan is favourite at $3 from Big Boy Roy at $4.20, Brutality's $4.80, Canasta is $6, Oxford Tycoon is $9. Mark Shean?
Well, I was on Catalan the other day at Newcastle, and I thought the race was run to suit, and come to the turn, I was curling the mow, and it looked like it had 4 flat tyres, so I don't know what to make of its last run there. All the twins have been fresh bar its second start in a race, so I don't know about the price there for me. Look, I think Brutality was poorly ridden last week. I know it was a wet track coming back to a dry track, but small field here, quick back up, down a lot in class. Just the favourites got some question marks over it, and Big Boy Roy, Catalan and Big Boy Roy. So Brutality on top for me, hoping for a better ride.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, what are you thinking?
Yeah, kind of along the same lines. On figures, you'd have to be with Catalan on her best. Maybe the pressure got her last week, and this isn't going to be such a high pressure affair, and it might go better under those circumstances. But even if that's the case, that does demonstrate a bit of a weakness in the horse. If she can't cope with if pressure is going to get rid of her, that is certainly a knock on her. Yeah, I don't know if I want to take $3, and again, I'm really struggling. I thought Canasta might end up with an easy lead, but I couldn't back it. Look, I'll have to see what Rob says. It probably won't be ready. It's only had one trial, but So Wicked went out the absolute top of its game last prep off a big win. Trialled okay. My query is whether she's going to be forward enough to win. She didn't even run at a trip as short as 1,400 last time in. All her forms around 1,800, but look, it was a really good win last up before a spell. I liked them going out at their top, and on board she has a man who is riding like a man possessed, Thomas Sherry. At around 25 to 1, it's the one I could make a case for a small bet on, but I'd like to have a word with Rob first. Okay,
we'll be waiting until late there for race 9. Race 10 on the card is benchmark 78 over 1,200 metres, and Queen Bellissimo is favourite at $4.80, best available from Amiche at $5.50, much better 7, Rangers is 8, El Buena is $8.50, and Ramstein is 10. Mark Shean, anything in the last?
Looks good pace here. I thought Rangers did a very good job at Kembla. Set 3 wide and a limb to win there. Thought it was going to be beaten 5 times, but kept fighting. They've taken the claim here for Rhys Jones, so I thought he had a chance. And I think Tamerlane, if he gets the pace up front, very good horse, fresh, got an ordinary barrier, but he'll go back and be a late swooper here. So I'm just hoping there's a lot of pressure on up front with Queen Bellissimo, maybe much better, maybe a Miche going forward as well. So just hoping that they do roll along, and Ramstein there as well. So 5 and 8 are my two plays in the last there, race number 10.
Okay, Mark Rhoden.
I was on a Miche first up and thought it did a pretty good job, but its map does look bad here. It looks like there's a fair bit of speed inside it, so it's either going to be on limb or possibly gassed early, I think, under tomorrow's circumstances. On top, I've got number 2, much better. Look, had no weight in his back last time at Newcastle and just scooted straight to the front over a slightly longer trip and gave them no chance, basically. That day, being on speed was certainly a plus on speed and inside, so he was a little bit perhaps flattered there, but his overall form this prep, I'd say 3 of his 4 runs, all his dry track runs have been really good. Good first up win, just fair in a pretty strong race second up, then third to Dynamic Impact, who's, shown the strength of that form since third up, and then a 3-length win last start. Now, I don't think he absolutely has to lead. He didn't lead in his first up win. And as Mark said, if a few want to take it up, he could, from barrier 6, maybe sit in the second or third pair. And look, he's a strong, reasonably fast run pacer, and you know what you're going to get from him. And I think at around $6, he's a reasonable bet. The other one I'd be looking to back in the race is the one Mark mentioned, number 5, Rangers. Very good win to sit wide. Campbell the other day, not the strongest race of all time, but it was certainly the run of the race. And I could see myself backing her to save. But number 2, much better, the one for me.
Okay, I'll get your best bets on the card, best bets, best value bets, or best lay bets, whatever you like. Mark Shean.
Yeah, look, I think it's a low meeting, but I thought race 4, number 4, I Am Power, has trialled up quite well. There's a lot of speed in that race. Should be able to just sit back. He looked very fat first up last time in and still ran well. So he's been revved up a bit more in the trials this time in. So I'm expecting him to be a little bit more forward this preparation. And I thought Born a King, if they can make ground from the back, will give you a very good side in race number 4. So hoping for better than 2 seconds last week, maybe 2 winners this week. Might go backwards, I don't know.
Sounds good. $5 there for I Am Power in race 4. Mark Rhoden, what have you got?
I'm a bit the same. I wouldn't recommend anyone have their last on anything in any race tomorrow. I may be much better. I think it's a good, probably each way bet at $6 in the last, but it's probably going to be a low spend day tomorrow. I'm not in love with this meeting by any means.
Okay, sounds good to me. Guys, all the best for the next week coming up. We've got Kensington today as well, but that's probably already started by the time this video goes up. So we'll catch up next week. I think it's Randwick next Saturday for the Villiers. So we'll preview that race meeting next Friday. Until then, go well.